Welcome to episode 1230, Robert Langer, Edison of Medicine, 9 lessons. This is an outline of episode 1230, lesson 1 to 5, lesson 6 to 9. Lesson 1, he believes in magic.
Do you see a connection between magic and science?
I do. I think magic can surprise you, and and I think science can surprise you, and there's something magical about science. Well, I think the duality that I see is fascination. I think of it, when I watch magic myself, I'm always fascinated, puzzled to think how it's done, but just the sheer fact that something that you never thought could happen does happen. And I think about that in science too. Sometimes you might dream about and hoping to discover, maybe you do in some way or form.
Lesson 2, he rejected to work for big oil companies.
If you were a chemical engineer like I was, is you'd get a lot of job offers from oil companies. And pretty much all my classmates went to oil companies and worked there, and they got very high-paying jobs. Did get 20 job interviews. I got 20 offers, too, but I wasn't very excited about doing that.
Lesson 3, he was rejected by all the universities and hospitals except one.
And I wrote to all those colleges, and actually not a single one wrote me back. So I started to think, what other way could I use my chemical engineering education? So I thought about medicine. So I applied to a lot of hospitals and medical schools. They didn't write me back either. But one day, one of the people in the lab where I was, one of the older people, he said, Bob, he said, there's a surgeon in Boston named Judah Folkman. And he said, sometimes he hires unusual people.
Lesson 4, his mentor is Judah Folkman. Langer worked as a postdoc in Judah Folkman's lab. Folkman's most important discovery was in cancer and tumor, postulated that in order to survive and grow, tumors require blood vessels, and so by cutting off the blood supply, the cancer can be starved into remission. Lesson 5, Robert Langer and Judah Folkman would collaborate to create 2 new industries. The 2 new industries are drug delivery systems and tissue engineering. Did he know he was in the beginning of 2 new industries, the polymer slow-release system and also how to stop blood vessel from growing. Lesson 6, a student billionaire is Noubar Afeyan. Of his wealth comes from co-founding a company with his student Noubar Afeyan, who is the inventor of the Moderna vaccine. Lesson 7 is a potential future Nobel Prize winner. Dr. Judah Folkman died unexpectedly at age 74 of a heart attack. Well, Nobel does not offer prize to dead people, but Robert Langer will have a good shot. Lesson 8, the most important thing of a startup, and he did 30, is the CEO.
A great CEO is probably the single most important thing for companies. I wish it wasn't the case. I wish it was just the science. But I think really for medical companies in particular, where you don't get that many shots on goal because things are often so expensive, having a great CEO is critical.
Lesson 9, the Robert Langer Lab. Langer Lab at MIT is the largest biomedical engineering lab in the world, containing over $10 million in annual grants and over 100 researchers. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your questions and comments below. Wishing everyone peace and prosperity.